All right, I'm going to show you how I do some sound design. Let's start with a sequence here in which Yellow, Space Ranger Yellow, our main character, is about to shoot a gravity beam at this Gloobagoon. Here's what I have right now. Here's what I'm working with. All right, so there's three different sounds here. First, I've got this, which is a little sample I made with the Mini Brute. Just picked this one. Has like a springy kind of vibe to it. To me, it feels like this when the laser beam kind of engages and then shoots out. The second sound I have is another sound I captured with the synthesizer. A little bit of modulation in there. Then there's a second sound that I've kind of filtered out that it's basically the same sound, just altered slightly so that when we cut to where it kind of feels like we're inside of the bubble or we're looking at this creature that's inside the bubble, the sound's a little more muffled. So that's this other track right here. So if I play the two of them in order. Now there's another sound I have here that I'm working with that I'm not sold on yet. And the reason that I'm adding all of these sounds together is, and I'm also staggering them, is in order to get some cadence and a feel of progression through the sound that looks good along with the progression of the visuals, right? Pretty self-explanatory, but worth pointing out. So what is this sound? Now, it's this encapsulation, enveloping sound as how I'm thinking of it, and I'm not entirely sold on it yet. So I'm going to kind of work with this sound here with some effects and try to see if I can make it sound better to my ear. It's pretty good. Okay, I think that sounds pretty good. It's important that I am listening to the sound by itself to make sure that this component of the sound is what I want, and then listen to it in context to the others. And just because I spend a lot of time on something doesn't mean that I have to make that work. It's good to always refer back to the visuals and make sure, does this fit? Does this feel? Not just does the timing work out, but if I close my eyes, am I wanting to hear it, or does it fit naturally? It should fit naturally. Even if it's an unnatural sound, it should still feel right with the visual. Don't get stuck on yourself. Don't think that because you invested a certain amount of time into one sound that you have to make that one work. Save it for later. Okay, so here I want to show another thing that I do. So I've got each one of these sounds is running through a series of effects to kind of soup it up and treat it the way that I want that to be. So this is how I organize my projects for now until I come up with something better. I want to be able to layer these sounds, but first I'm going to print these effects onto them. So I'm going to take each sound individually and record it with the effects onto another track. I'm going to make that one sound. Let me record that one first. Okay, So now that I've got that sound, I still have my little enveloping noise that I want to put on there. And it's got some effects on it too. So I'm now going to print that onto another track. Okay. Now both of these, turn this off. Now these two sounds together are going to make up the new sound. So here's my old one, Grav Beam Sequence. Let's see what it sounds like and what the big problem was I had with it and why I didn't want to keep it. It was fine, I guess. No, it wasn't even fine. It was such a boring and dead sound, and it sounded too much like when they were flying around. I kind of used some of those, like oscillating kind of sounds. This is also an oscillating sound, but it's been treated differently, and so it feels a little differently. There's a crispness to it, and a little more weight. Before I was using to get the weight, gravity beam weight, right? So I got all this low end in there, and like sub low end, and it doesn't need that. So anyway, this is probably my third try at this sound, and I'm gonna save this one because I don't want to get rid of everything forever. Maybe it'll work for something else. So I'm gonna put old Grav Beam Sequence, and I'm just gonna stick it in my big list of samples here, so I can get at it later if I want. All right, now let's listen to this all together. And I'll play it back from the beginning here a little bit too, so you can hear some of these other noises that I've worked on recently.
My scans indicate it's protecting itself with a slimy film.
Well, at least I can stop it in its tracks with my gravity beam.
So there it is. Next I've got to work on that unsatisfactory splat noise and that stuff. Well, there you go. Thanks for watching. If you don't know about the project I'm currently working on, it's called Power Stars, and you can find out more about that at powerstarsuniverse.com. There's also a Patreon, which is where there's a lot more of the behind the scenes stuff, kind of like this. There's also some animation behind the scenes and some toy making behind the scenes stuff there. That is also the only source of income that Ben and I have that's funding this project right now. So all the support there is hugely appreciated. Thank you so much if you're a patron. If you like this video or there's something that you have a question about or want to see, then say so in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.